So we have this question here that says, show that if e to the power 2x plus 6 is equal to 5 e to the power x, then e to the power x is equal to 3, or e to the power x is equal to 2. Okay, so now what we're going to do here is we're going to get this equation that we have, and we put all the terms of variables on one side of the equation there. So meaning that here we're going to have e to the power 2x plus 6 minus 5 e to the power x equal to 0, like this. So you can just rearrange what we have here, meaning that here we're going to have e to the power 2x minus 5 e to the power x plus 6 equal to 0, like this here. So then here, when you look at this here, this looks more like a quadratic equation here. So in that case here, we're going to make an assumption now where we assume to say a certain variable is equal to e to the power x here. So let's say, let's make an assumption here. Let's use y. Let y be equal to e to the power x here. Now, if we square y, we're also going to have e to the power 2x, like this here. So now, if this is the case here, where there's e to the power x, we're going to write y squared. Where there's just e to the power x, we write y here. So where there's e to the power 2x, we write this here. Then where there's this, we just write that. So then here we're going to have, then this equation then becomes y squared minus 5y plus 6 is equal to 0 here. So this is a quadratic function that we have in this case here, which we need to solve for y. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use the product and sum method. So the product and sum method is we multiply this constant that we have here with the coefficient of y squared here. So the coefficient of y squared is 1. The constant that we have this side is 6. So 1 by 6, we're going to get 6 here. Then the sum is just equal to the coefficient of y here. So the coefficient of y is negative 5. So meaning that here, we need to look for two numbers such that if we multiply them, we get positive 6. If we add them, we get negative 5. So those two numbers are negative 3 and negative 2, like this. Okay, so now this equation that we have cannot be written as y squared minus 3y minus 2y plus 6 is equal to 0 here. We factor out what's common on the first two terms. Y is common there, so we're going to have y open brackets y minus 3. Then we factor out what is common on the two terms here. So negative 2 is common there, so we say negative 2 open brackets y minus 3, like this here, equal to 0. Then here we're going to have y minus 3 and y minus 2, like this, equal to 0. We equate this to 0 and this to 0 as well. So here we have y is equal to y minus 3 here is equal to 0, and also y minus 2 is equal to 0 here. Then the value of y here is 3. The value of y this side is 2 here. Now remember, since we said y is equal to e to the power x, meaning that here where there's y we substitute e to the power x, we're going to have e to the power x is equal to 3. Or this side here, we're going to say where there's y again, we substitute e to the power x. So or e to the power x is equal to 2 here. So therefore, we've shown to say that if e to the power 2x plus 6 is equal to 5 e to the power x, then e to the power x is equal to 3 and e to the power x is equal to 2 here.